No, I like Forrest Frank. I'm not a huge fan of his music. It's just not my style.
This is gonna get us in so much trouble, bro. Oh
You're not a fan of the white rapper?
Come on. Hey, you know there's only one GOAT.
He might be the best, period.
He might.
Hey.
They had one, he took a whole game.
We just got to convert him. That's it.
He can run. Welcome to Not a Fit Podcast. It's your boy Anthony Chicano. I got my guys here. I got the Bishop. I got the Token. It has been a week. You know what? I forgot? I forgot to bring money for you guys' lunch today. My wallet is next door. So
it's funny when I say stuff like that. It really means that I don't have any money. Sorry, I couldn't pay today. I forgot my wallet. But
you know what?
I truly believe.
No, it's okay.
I believe you.
No.
You shouldn't believe me, but I believe you.
Do you feel the same way? Is that what happens? Do you tell people you forgot your wallet too and you got no money? Is that what happens?
No. I got my wallet, or I don't have my wallet. I ain't got no money. It don't matter. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Okay.
We just not going to eat.
So you two are grown men, and so I figure you need some grown men money to go eat. Okay. So I gotta be true to my word. Okay, hold on. Let me get my passcode. There's my passcode. My passcode is my face, just so you know. So if anything ever happens, just go up to me and do my face. All right. Check your phone. Go ahead. Check your phone. Check your phone. Lunch on me today. Lunch on me. Go ahead and tell the audience. Lunch on me. I'm true to my word.
He did. He sent money. I don't know what you sent money for, but
lunch.
I will click to receive.
Lunch. Lunch. First team to lose was the Raiders. So there you go. I lost that gentleman's friendly wager of lunch. That's what I lost. People are gonna get mad at us for gambling. Huh? That's gambling. Is that technically gambling? Since I buy your guys lunch all the time anyway. Is that technically gambling? Nobody asked you though. Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you something. I never accepted a bet. I was gonna pay you nothing.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I don't think it was gambling. You didn't have a chance to win,
and you guys didn't have no money to give.
Yeah.
So between my no chance to win and your no money to give,
you were lose. We were win. That's
so
not.
We were all safe. And I buy you lunch anyway.
Our lunches will be fasting together. Fasting and praying.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I just had to own up to it. So before we went on air, Mike made a comment about my shirt. He said you gave up on your team already that you switched sports. I go, dang, that was cold blooded. But come on, why you gonna do that to me, Mike? It was a gift. This is from Spain.
It's a nice shirt.
Okay, but it's from Spain. It's a gift. That's why I'm wearing it.
I was a little caught off guard. You're not a big soccer guy.
I'm not. I don't even know who the team is.
Barcelona.
I don't know.
That's all I know too.
Okay. Do you know anything about Barcelona? Somebody famous play for him?
I don't know.
Okay, if y'all know, y'all just chime in because I don't. I liked the shirt. It was nice. It was from Spain. It was a gift.
Messi played for Barcelona. You know Messi?
Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I know he's the best. I do know he's like one of the best, if not the best, soccer players in the world.
I'm going Ronaldo. Why? I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna quit while we're ahead. Just we're gonna keep going over. You just stop. Okay, so we had a very, very long week. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It was one of our highest watched episodes, and I'm just so grateful for the dialogue, grateful for the conversations, grateful for all the conversations I've had with people, and really, I tell you right now. The more I walk through this, the more I do agree with the final. Thank you, Nate. He produced a great show yesterday or last week. I love that final clip where Charlie said, when people stop talking, bad things happen. And I've literally, that has been remunerating in my brain all week long. Like, nope, we got to have conversations. Nope, even if we disagree, we got to talk. We got to have conversations. We've got to keep dialoguing, because the moment we make somebody an enemy is the moment we lose compassion for people. And so we got to keep the dialogue, whether good, bad, or indifferent. We got to keep dialogue happening. When people stop talking, bad things. I couldn't agree more. So yesterday, they had his memorial at Allegiant Stadium. And if I'm not mistaken, that was to capacity. And then I'm not familiar with the stadium, but apparently there's like another stadium next door. I think because they had mentioned that was their overflow. And I think the numbers came out over 78,000 people were like on the spot between the one stadium and then some sort of like stadium next door as well. I've never been there. Was it okay? It was something that they were able to hold over 14,000 people though. So it was a big enough facility, and that's not including people outside, etc. I thought it was really interesting. A little bit of a mixed bag. If you woke up this morning and you checked all the news cycles and you checked everything, I tuned in to first off. By the time I got out of church, I thought it was over. So I logged on to see if I was watching a replay. I didn't know it was actually live. So I kind of made the mistake of rewinding and thinking it was, videotaped. And, I'm on my X feed too. People are like, no, this is happening live. So now I'm all messed up because now I went from rewinding to try to fast forward to try to get to the speakers. And anyway, I tell you what, though, I tuned in because I think you guys know this. I'm a huge Cody Carnes and Carrie Carnes, their husband and wife. I'm a big fan of theirs. They sing the song, as we all know, The Blessing. So many other songs as well, but that's probably their biggest one. And right when I tuned in, they were doing The Blessing. And I thought, man, I didn't know what the memorial service was going to be, but it was a church service. And at least the part that I tuned into right away, I was like, we had worship going. I thought it was really interesting. And then Brandon Lake was there. Phil Wickham was there. Chris Tomlin was there. Right when I turned on, they take a crowd shot. And then my guy, Jensen Franklin's there. I didn't know he was going to be there, but he was there. And I just had an opportunity to worship with them. And I want to show you a clip of a moment in there, and I just thought it was absolutely incredible. But I want to get your take on this clip. I want you to watch this. Watch this clip.
So I throw up my head and praise you again. I know it's not nothing else.
What'd you think of that? What'd you guys think?
Yeah, that's powerful.
Wasn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He goes on to share a little testimony about people just worshiping, and this is what Charlie's doing right now. He is worshiping the Lord, and then they sang The Blessing, and it was just incredibly powerful. What I was shocked was not just maybe I had a different idea of what the memorial was going to be because I heard like the whole presidential cabinet was there. I thought it was going to be more of like just talking about stories about him, and I didn't know they preached the gospel. Pastor Rob McCoy literally gave an altar call and an invitation and said, if you're here and you liked Charlie and you liked, what he stood for, but let me tell you what he really stood for as his pastor. He wanted you to know Jesus, and he made people stand up. He's like, you're going to stand up. If you can't be bold enough in here where everybody's your friend, you're not going to be bold enough out there. He says, at the count of 3, stand up. Then he told all the Christians around him, hey, you guys, you need to pray for your new brothers and sisters in Christ. Then he told all the pastors, say hello to your new congregation. And I mean, it was just absolutely, it was mind-blowing to me. When you thought about the memorial, did you think it was going to be like that, like a church service, or I don't know, maybe it was just me. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot of people talking. I just heard the guest list of people talking, so yeah, I didn't know. I know they'll probably do some music, but I didn't know it'd be worship, and I knew it'd be a lot of talking. So
yeah, that's what I was. So you kind of thrown back that they actually had. I mean, I don't mean to sound like this, but they actually had worship. Like, I mean, they actually sang praise. They sang, what? I was going to clip. They did a couple hymns. I was going to clip that for you. I was like, okay, now we really into church. We brought out some hymns over here. And so anyway, but I maybe, like I said, maybe it was my own. I saw that list too, and I didn't think they were good. Is it bad to say I didn't think they were going to allow? I mean, because that's the only thought I have in my head. Like, I didn't know they were going to go this much, if I can't say quote unquote church.
Yeah.
So what about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was happening.
Oh, okay. You know the memorial was on Sunday?
No.
It was an odd day considering most pastors are in church and most people are in church on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. We offhand, we're like, hey, it's interesting that, he told people to go to church and then they had a service on a Sunday.
I think they did that though. I'm not privy to any information, but here was my best guess because they wanted to have a church service. and they wanted to do a church service. That's how he wanted to be remembered, in a church service where people where his pastor could do a message, which he did a message, by the way, and where he would give an invitation to receive Christ. So that's if I was a betting man, funny, no pun intended on that. If I was a betting man, that's what I would say would happen. That's why it happened that way. Really interesting. Like I said, there's a mixed bag out there. People were saying, hey, they turned this into like a GOP political convention, shish boom ba. And here's what I got to say. This is my opinion, and you guys push back on it if you want. But I don't expect a politician to be anything other than a politician. I don't expect nothing more, nothing less. Does that make sense?
Is that because of what they said, or is that because of who was there?
A little bit of both.
Because I would
tell you this.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say if it's based off of what they said, then I don't know. I don't know what they said, but if it's based off of who was there, I don't think that's fair, considering the fact that he knew all these people.
No.
So
Correct.
you have like some of these people who are let's say gunned down or killed by a police officer, and then you see all these like woke politicians show up, like they didn't even know the person.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So they make something political, but in this scenario, like we talked about, we saw him more as a politician than we did as a church leader.
Right. What were you gonna say? Were you gonna say anything on that?
Oh no, I agree.
Oh yeah, so to me, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I was surprised. I listened to quite a bit of the talks about Charlie, the speeches about Charlie. Was surprised at Marco Rubio. I was surprised at Tucker Carlson. I was surprised at a few of the people. Was not surprised when President Donald Trump goes President Donald Trump and his Trumpisms. Wasn't surprised at Kennedy. Tulsi Gabbard. I wasn't surprised at some people. Stephen Miller.
All these people talked?
All of them talked.
How long was the service?
This thing was long. So if I had to guess, maybe 6 hours or something.
6 hours?
Yeah, it was long. Or maybe 4 hours. I have to Google that. I don't know. My point is, I don't understand the rub there, because I would have expected that. And then I would expect those who were the pastors or his staff who were devout followers of Christ, they brought the gospel. So if that makes any sense at all, none of this, I guess I just I'm a pragmatist in that way. I see it for what it is. But I will tell you what I was not prepared for. I was not prepared for Erica Kirk. I was not prepared for what she was going to do. And I will say, and I would challenge anybody to go back and watch it. And if you disagree with me, go ahead and leave a comment. But you could tell when the Spirit of God was moving, and you could tell when people were just honoring a friend. I feel like there was a true kind of distinction there, that, when the Lord was being lifted up, and then when somebody was just telling a story about a friend. But this moment right here by Erica Kirk was something to be witnessed. It was incredible. I just want you to watch this clip.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life. That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
Didn't see that coming. I watched that live. I was a hot mess. I was like, dang, that's powerful. You know, what'd you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's a great, she's representing Christ really well in that. So, and I mean, no one can say anything to that, you know, as those who may be against, you know, Charlie Kirk or against their family, like for her to come out and say that and to see like, hey, that represents Christianity at its best. So people kept talking about like, you know, out of this, you haven't seen a call to violence. You haven't seen his calls to the streets. It's like you see people who were following him, like this idea of like love and caring for other people. And you see this at the ultimate, like she's the closest to him, affected the most by this, and yet is still willing to forgive. It's a great testimony.
What was your thought watching that?
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, it looked very genuine.
Yeah, and you know, as just being human, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I could do that.
I know.
Just being honest. I mean, if you watch
so soon,
that's what I'm saying.
That's why I said it looked genuine. Like that.
No, she did. She looked like she really weighed out whether or not she.
Well, it was hard for her to say.
And if she was wanting to do that, you know, like I mean, I don't know. If you watched your wife get shot like that, I mean, I don't think I don't know. I'm just being honest. That's incredible. That's all I got to say. The grace that's on her life, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And
she has, you know, done an amazing. I mean, you can just tell the Holy Spirit's all over her life. That's all I got to say. And I agree with you. I don't know how people can't see that and not be moved. In the sense of like, what a testimony. No calls of retribution or any of that, but a call of love. And she says why? Because that's what Christ did. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, that was just so powerful. I don't know if you know this or not, but can we scroll back to that stat? This comes from Andrew Colvett, and he was the not the second in charge of Charlie or of Turning Point, but he's somebody high up there. He's like the CEO or whatever. I can't remember his official title, but he's up there. And he said our production and streaming partners tracked over 100 million overall streams for today's tribute to Charlie. This is just what they know about. It's likely much larger. 100 million people just heard the gospel. That is incredible. That might be the largest ever to hear the gospel. I'm just throwing that out there. If you guys know of anything larger, please let me know. But that might at one time. And I'm telling you right now, go back and watch Pastor Rob McCoy. He did not skip a beat in sharing that gospel. Wow. And then you marry that to Erica Kirk and what she said at the end. I don't know. That to me, that's a good Sunday service. With that worship, Chris Tallman did a phenomenal job. I'm just saying, this was absolutely incredible. I bring all that up because we've talked about this person before, and I don't know if I've ever shared the story on why I believe in Kim Clements, but I'm going to share it with you guys now. Kim Clements, what I believe, is a prophet. Well, he's passed now, so he was a prophet. There have been several prophecies that have come to pass that have been powerful, but I had my own moment with Kim Clement. I was living up in Oregon, and I was really at a crossroads of what to do in ministry. Little did I know, my wife was watching Kim Clement because she knew I was a fan. But I had just suffered a heat stroke, and I was literally passed out. I was sick, and I was lying in bed. But I had read his book. I believe it's The Sound of His Voice, how he tells his testimony, how he got saved. And so she knew I was a big fan, and he was ministering on TBN, and he started to prophesy. And she really felt like that word was for me, and she laid hands on me. And I was passed out in bed. Literally, I slept for like 16 hours. I had a massive heat stroke. And and when she laid hands on me, I woke up, and I was a different person. Like, I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew what God was calling me to do. And I made one of the hardest decisions of my life to leave a very toxic discipleship program that was really led by a cult leader. And it was really an interesting time. And so my wife has always followed Kim Clement. And then, of course, I showed you that clip where he prophesies about a Trump in the presidential office. And the only part of that prophecy that's yet to come true is he mentions Bill Gates, about Bill Gates is going to have this dynamic faith awakening and all this. But then this clip started going viral. And I want to play it for you, and I want you to listen to the words, and I want you to listen to what he says. You need to watch this right here.
I was overwhelmed by a strong presence of hatred and bitterness permeating from the citizens of the United States of America. When I sensed this, I was literally tasting the bitterness, not that would only come, but that is present. And God was so grieved because this was not just believers, unbelievers, these were believers as well. I could sense this coming from unbelievers and believers. So much so that I sensed God was severely grieved that politics and the economy and the news media has put us in a position where we are completely corrupted in our hearts, and bitterness is coming forth instead of praying prophetically, calling out to God. I sensed corruption after that. And then an exposure of this by a strange happening, a strange turn of events. Now this is what I saw. At this point, now remember we're speaking about a corruption that we don't know about yet, and the strange happening or strange turn of events that will literally be the turning point in American history. Now that's a big thing to say. I'm saying what I've heard, it's not happening. But please repent if your heart is bitter and you have hatred, because it's not going to help you living like that as warriors.
Okay. Thoughts on that one before I get to another one? Any thoughts on that?
So there's a time in American history where there's going to be extreme bitterness between Christians and non-Christians, and then there's a turning point.
No, he said Christians and Christians, not just with non-Christians. He said believers.
Believers, non-believers.
Well, it'll start in the house of God, and then it spill out. So there's going to be this tipping point on both sides. It used to just be as believers, us against the world, so to say. He said, but that is infiltrating into with the bitterness that he could taste. That is going to also infiltrate the church, and then there's going to be a turning point. So I'm just telling you this because I'm gonna follow this up with another one. You're not much into prophecy, but what do you think of that? Just too generic for you?
Yeah. If you want to ask me, yeah, it's too generic.
Okay, but what did you think of the Trump one?
I don't remember it. To tell you the truth. I mean, Mary just said. I mean, it's. I played
it for you twice.
It's always so. To me, it's just always so generic.
Okay.
It's never. I don't know.
How do you? Like when you think of prophetic words.
I think of corruption. There's always corruption. There's always people fight in church all the time.
Okay, but when you think of prophetic words, how poignant do you want it to be? Do you want date and year?
No, I just I want to. I mean there's been church fighting during that time of church fighting.
Okay.
I mean the church fighting with charismatics and Baptists. I mean that's nothing new. The Catholic Church, and Protestants. That's
so I'm curious. In your 34 years? 34 years old?
Oh, no.
Oh, how old are you?
38.
Okay.
No, 39.
I was waiting for you to say 40. So in your 39 years, when have you seen the church like this?
When have I seen the church like this? Like fighting? I haven't. Wait.
That's my point.
No, but I'm saying throughout time, there's always fighting. We never seen the Protestants and the Catholics have that separation in church happen.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just asking, in your 39 years, when have you seen it as bad as the last 5 years?
Like in the church?
Mm-hmm.
I necessarily haven't, but I wouldn't say I haven't seen it like this. I haven't seen it like this.
Yeah, and I think that's the alarming part. And is it getting better? Or is it getting worse event by event?
I think the church is getting disposed of who's actually the church. I think there was a big boom of people coming in who weren't actually part of the church. Like, I think it's just like, we'll take anyone. I think we see that in our church a lot. Like, people come in and perceive our church to be a certain way. and they're like, "Oh, you guys actually believe the Bible? I don't want to be here anymore." It's like, well, yeah, we always believe the Bible. Like, but you saw because we're just, we loved everyone and we were kind to everyone that you can come in and feel comfortable. You thought we didn't believe the Bible.
What my thought is, and this is just me, we started this church. We launched it Easter 2011, and I haven't seen anything, and I've been in church since '95. I haven't seen anything. By the way, I don't disagree with you. You said we had an influx of people. I'm not arguing that part. I'm just saying I haven't seen the divisiveness, and everything is such a cataclysmic moment than I have since COVID.
Yeah, my personal opinion, the reason that happens is everyone wants to get so political instead of focus on Christ. It's like I think we're so much of, that's why I understand the idea of being the conservative and liberal Christian, but now it becomes the conservative liberal Christian in politics, the political part of it, and that's the part I think becomes divisive, and which I don't like.
What do you mean? Explain. Go ahead. Dive into that.
Instead of focusing on Christ, it comes in, where's your political background? Or are you a liberal or are you conservative? Who'd you vote for? We find ourselves dividing over that instead of choosing Christ above everything else. You're willing to this is the side I'm on before I choose Christ.
Oh, okay. I'm still having a hard time. I'm trying. If we go all the way back to 2020, how did that? I don't understand how that happened.
What do you mean?
With COVID, how did that happen? Who cared for who voted for who?
Yeah, but they're choosing I want to be this social justice Christian.
Okay.
Or I'm the anti-social justice Christian.
Okay.
And I think that brings the divide that we see now.
Okay, so let's walk that through. That's what I'm saying. So when COVID happened, I don't understand where the political affiliations come in at. That's
I'm saying that's what started right into the service. That's what we see now. You have to choose a side.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand now, but you said, I said I haven't seen it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I said it started when COVID happened.
Yeah.
You said, well, everybody started getting political. That's what
Well,
I'm
you
trying
see
to
that
track.
you see that rise of that during that time. You have the George Floyd, you have the mask, no mask, having church, not having church. It becomes this.
Well,
two
it started
sides.
with your church needed to shut down. Who shut the church down?
Government.
Okay, so it got political.
No,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
but I'm
Yeah.
saying what I'm saying is it got political whether we wanted it to or not.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm
So
saying that's what's bringing the division.
But it wasn't anything we chose.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we get to choose. You get to choose if you put Christ first.
Oh no, okay.
Or over your politics
okay,
first.
but watch this. And we did, and what happened?
What do you mean?
We put Christ first, and what happened?
Who put Christ first? I don't know if people do. They put their politics
I put
first.
Christ first, and what happened? I made the front page of a newspaper.
Yeah.
So in other words, okay, so once I made the front page of a paper, what happened to me?
Yeah, and what other churches came?
No.
Because they put their politics first.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I didn't get to choose. It chose me. That sounds like a Tupac song. I didn't choose this life. It chose me. It chose me. That's all I'm saying. I didn't choose.
Yeah.
I put the gospel first. I put the gospel first, saying, "Listen, I prayed about it. I'm supposed to open up my church." They labeled me. So how did I get to choose?
No, I'm not saying you did, but many people do.
I'm not arguing to many people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about for us what happened here.
Yeah.
So in other words, we didn't start this.
Okay.
But now you're going to have to side up.
With who?
With God.
I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying that's what people aren't doing.
The moment you tell people you're pro-life, what happens?
They're going to put you in a category.
What category?
Conservative.
Okay. So see what I'm saying to you is you don't have a choice in the category people put you.
The most people start with that though. Now if someone says they're
okay, but let me tell you what. No, I disagree with that. I don't start with that, but that's people's starting points.
I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not putting it on you.
Yeah.
I'm saying people in general. I'm not saying you.
No. You're not saying me, but I'm saying people like me. We don't start. I don't start with my gender. I don't start with my race. I don't start with whether I'm pro-life.
Yeah. So you have Charlie Kirk, and he comes. This is what he's involved in, though. So this is what you're attaching yourself. He starts off with those things. That's why he's more political than he is a believer. So I'll take him out of it. This is why I like Matt Walsh. This is why I don't watch him anymore, because I believe he's a believer. People, that's Matt Walsh. He's the one that did
the woman said.
The woman, yeah.
What is the woman? The producer.
Oh, okay.
The one we watched, yeah.
Okay. I get a lot of these guys confused.
I think he's a believer. But
Okay.
I think he does a horrible job of representing what Christ is.
Okay.
I don't support any of his content anymore. Like,
Okay.
I think he's an absolute jerk.
Okay.
Like, I wrote him telling him, you're a jerk. Like, 'cause I completely think he is, but I do believe he's a believer because I think he chooses those things first before he chooses being a Christian. Like, I think Charlie Kirk was kinder than he was.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think those people lead with that, and this is who they are following, and I think that brings division.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. I'm going, which I hear you. I'm going to what people do, what happens over here. What happens over here is once you take a stand, and he said, by the way, biblical stand
Yep.
of pro-marriage, pro-life, all these pros, you already get labeled.
Yeah, and for non-believers, I understand that. But as a believer, that person's wrong.
Okay, so
You should.
that was a little fast.
For non-believers,
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay.
If you're a believer, that shouldn't happen.
What shouldn't happen? Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
That they put that label on you.
Okay.
You guys should meet in the middle. What did Jesus say?
Okay, but what if they say this is like that fake preacher in Texas? Jesus was pro-abortion.
Yeah. So let's go talk. Let's look what Jesus said.
I was waiting
Let's go
for
find
your
it.
I was waiting for your famous line.
What?
He's an idiot. That was
Yeah,
you
I
missed
don't
your
say that
point. You
anymore.
missed your
I don't
point.
say
You
it
missed his
anymore.
point. I set it up. It was a softball throw for you.
I don't say that anymore.
So yeah, you do. You just said it a couple pockets ago. It's limited.
We're
yeah,
working.
even before Jerry did it. Yeah.
Pastor Jerry came. We changed some things
I
up.
guess, but that's what.
And they're wrong for it. They shouldn't do that. Like you were saying, we should sit down and talk about it. So label me something. Listen, okay, what did Jesus say about that? Let's go find that truth. But people aren't willing to find that truth.
Why?
Because they lead with politics.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
They want to follow these people who aren't believers, who maybe are believers, but lead with their politics.
Okay. That's the question that I'm trying to get to. Is the why? Why have we done a poor job pastoring? What's going on? That's why I even asked you, like, what do you know about prophetic words? What do you want about prophetic words? I mean, not every time in the Old Testament did they name a king by name. He said this king will come from the east.
Well, yeah, it literally says in Scripture, you saw in the dark, and now you see fully. Like, they didn't know the full prophecy. They couldn't fully understand it.
No, but going back to, and I'm going to show you another clip, going back to Kim Clements, you're looking for things that are happening, and when you go back to that Trump prophecy, that's what I'm trying to get at. Going back to the divisiveness, I have not seen it since the 2020. And I agree with you. People are leading with the wrong thing. We're not leading with Jesus first, and Keep It Kingdom should be a new shirt because that's really what we should be doing. But something happened during COVID is all I'm saying. Something spiritually shifted. I don't know what happened myself personally, but something spiritually shifted. And I know people are going to get up here, well, Trump's the one that said 2 weeks is to slow the curve or what the bend the curve, whatever we're doing with the curve. But the point is, and then people took that and ran with it, that over here in Cali, we had colors. Remember I know. We were watching every week, hoping we would get, what was the category? We were looking for yellow or orange. We were looking for something.
Yeah, there was a maroon.
Yeah, we were looking for
orange.
colors. And then people started doing that and guilting people into the vax and guilting people into the mask. And we started doing this, well, Jesus would wear a mask and Jesus would have got a vax. And they started using scripture. Well, if you love your neighbor, and all these big name preachers came out and was doing this. So was that not political moves?
But I mean, a lot of it too. Like, you have Trump. Everyone was pro-vax when it was Trump. Then it ain't Trump's anymore.
That's
They
not
don't
true.
say
They weren't pro-vax.
Oh, a lot of people are pro-vax.
No.
He's the warp speed.
No,
Everyone, he was all for it.
I'll show you clips. The Democrats were not pro-vax.
That's what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It becomes political. Now it's not our team. So now we flip to the other side.
Yeah, okay, then you still didn't answer the question. You have pastors getting up there making it political is what I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah.
So they didn't lead with the kingdom first.
I agree, 100%.
Because of the kingdom first, like, hey man, is your body's the temple of the Holy Ghost? That's up to you.
Yeah,
on
I
what you
agree.
decide. So that's what I'm saying. Like they, but by not making a statement or by not making a stand, you make a stand. And so I think we have to wrestle really, really hard we have to wrestle really hard. It's going to be a lot of work. This is all there is to it. But going back to this, like, to the prophetic words, that's what I'm saying. I give merit to this word because the church has been radically divided since 2020. I would dare to say that I do think it's going to go by from incident to incident and climactic event to climactic event. Like, we haven't seen it yet. Like, unless something brings us back together and we're able to be kingdom first, it may get worse. It quite possibly might get worse, because that's the more people, you know, they I don't even know a street term, they set up, you know what I mean? Like they get what they're set, their cliques right there. That's all they do. And so I wouldn't be surprised if more people leave. And more people say, hey, nope, I want it this way. We shouldn't have done that. And my question is to them is, well, where's the spiritual maturity? So I do think, and I'm going to show you this other prophetic word, I do think there's something there, that there has been a turning point, and I'm waiting for God to do another turning point or another shift, so to say. But watch this clip right here. Watch.
As the beginning of the restoration, as it begins, there shall be a woman that shall rise up. A woman that shall be strong in faith, virtuous, beautiful in eyes, and her eyes shall be so beautiful. Her eyes shall be round and big. I have crowned her, says the Lord, as I crowned Esther. And the people shall receive her, for she shall have the oil of gladness for the pain and the mourning that has taken place. And she shall pour out the oil. She shall pour out the oil on this nation. And God says healing shall begin, and then it shall flow rapidly. Schools will be free from potential damage and danger, shootings and murder, drug addiction. Cartels shall be afraid of a woman. A woman anointed by God. A woman set aside. And God says they will say we hated her, but now we love her. For she shall take the oil of healing, and she shall pour it upon the scars of those left and those right, and of the new party that has come forth and emerged, where they shall say Christ will reign, and this we shall not implement at all socialism, where where they have said we will make history without God. No, you will not. No, you will not, says the Lord. For I chose this nation before it was founded. Before anybody came here, I chose this entire nation, all 50 states, every one of them, to send my gospel to the entire earth. Do you think I have changed my mind? Therefore the healing that is necessary for this nation shall come at a time in the middle of the presidency. There shall be a woman that shall come, and God said there shall be oil that shall be poured upon the nation, and they shall suddenly feel the healing, and they shall say, it is well with my soul, it is well with our soul. For the soul of America has been corrupted, the soul of this nation has been corrupted with bitterness and anger, and God said she shall say, no more bitterness, no more anger, no more division, and shall pour the oil that shall come from the Spirit of the Lord himself. If you as a nation believe it, if you want this, lift your voice and shout one more time and say yes, yes to Esther.
My husband Charlie.
Okay, so what did you think of that one?
Yeah, that's specific.
More specific. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean the prophecy the stuff for me is fairly new as well.
Yeah.
And so I understood I think I understood what Sean was saying.
Yeah.
About this specific.
Your bets.
Just in case
Yeah.
Hold on. Little here, little there.
I put 5 on you. I put 5 on basketball.
That's funny.
I got red. I got black. I'm gonna win one way or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a little bit more specific. It was interesting. I would like to see how it all plays out, because I think for me, I think my posture is just like I'm open. Right. I'm open to like I'm not saying that I totally am like that's it. I'm just all right.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. After that Trump one, I was like, all right, what else he got to say? That's just. And by the way, it's the middle of his presidency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little bit more specific.
Yeah. I will say this though. You know what? I guess full disclosure now, why I give it a little bit more merit if I can. And I left this out on purpose. I tuned in last night to see just what everybody was talking about from the memorial. Okay, real quick. And one of the things, and you guys know me. By the way, if y'all don't know me, you can learn something about me right now. I listen to everybody. MSNBC, CNN, Fox, Daily Wire. I subscribe to everything. So I just like to hear people dialogue. I just like to hear all the sides. I just want to be well-rounded. And I'm gonna tell you something that shocked me. And I didn't know about this clip yet. Because people hadn't sent it to me yet. Okay, but let me finish this thought. I was so surprised. From MSNBC, who's no fan of Charlie Kirk, to CNN, Van Jones, him and Charlie, that's an incredible story, by the way. Van Jones is telling people now, a lot of respect he has for Charlie. Didn't really like his content, but had a lot of respect. They're talking about Erica Kirk. And this blew me away. Every time I turned on one of them, they were saying this: she's a formidable opponent. She's going to be the rising star. She's going to be the face. And one of them, I can't remember who it was, but one of them even said, "Hey, Democrats better be. They just got put on notice. This female right here, you ain't got to equal to her. She is that political savvy. She's that smart. She's extremely smart, by the way. Everything, the way she's handled herself, her push forward from all of this, like it was really interesting to see the whole spotlight, because she was, Charlie's wife. I mean, people knew about her. They didn't know about her like they know about her now. Yeah. And now this, if I could say, this focus went from Charlie right to her. And I just thought everybody was praising her like man, she is the new face of Turning Point and a movement. And so and then I get this prophetic word, and I'm like, oh snap! I mean, you saw the forgiveness thing. This is it's probably going to get 1 billion views. I mean, just worldwide. You know what I mean? For here and over there. So
100 million people know who she is now. Just off of yesterday,
if not more. So I just thought that's why I'm saying I give a little bit more, credence to that prophetic word. I just thought it was interesting. So on the flip side, I have to ask you guys a question, because I've been wrestling with it, and like I said, I listen to everything, right? I just tune in. So you have people who are saying this sounded like a cry to Christian nationalism. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And can I just show you what I kind of came up with here when people talk about Christian nationalism? You tell me if you thought this is what they meant, okay, when they say Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is the belief that a nation's identity, laws, and culture should be explicitly rooted in and prioritized in Christian values, often to the exclusion or marginalization of other religious or secular perspectives. It typically involves the idea that Christianity should have a privileged role in shaping public policy, governance, and societal norms, viewing the nation as having a divine mandate or a special covenant with God. While interpretations vary, it often emphasizes traditional Christian principles that may seek to enforce them through political or legal means. This definition is based on common scholarly and public discourse around the term, including analysis from the sources of Encyclopedia Britannica and discussions on platforms like X and other ones where there has been debates of context, religions, politics, and culture. So Christian nationalism is a belief that we should have culture and politics and societal norms based on Christian values. Let me ask you a question. So, am I wrong in assuming, and if I am, please correct me on the spot, I don't care, but don't most nations have some type of nationalism? In other words, if I were to go to, you went to India, right? Where'd you go?
Yeah, I'm in India.
But what part?
Punjab.
Okay, and what rule were they under?
What do you mean?
So, like
what
did you eat beef there?
No.
Why did you eat beef?
Cows is walking free.
Oh.
Free at last.
Yeah.
Free at last.
Maybe that's where I should be then. But, okay, why didn't you eat cows?
Yeah, because it's part of their culture. It's shaped by
okay,
their faith.
so they were under, is that Sikh or is that?
Sikh,
okay, so they were under a Sikh nationalism then. But other parts of India are Buddhist, though, correct? There's parts of India that are Buddhist or Muslim. Muslim.
Majority of it's Hindu.
Okay, Hindu. Mm-hmm. And there's a part that is Muslim, though.
Yeah,
am I
that's
correct? Okay.
Muslim. Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you've been to Ireland and where else have you been? Ireland.
We went to Honduras.
Okay. So are not are not both of those countries, are they not under some type of what I would just call moral guidance from some type of religion?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been to the Middle East. Well, that was
Israel.
Well, that was obvious, right? So what I don't understand is, and that's where I would just need someone to correct me if I was wrong. But who's not under some type of ism? You know, whether it's Christian nationalism, secularism, Hinduism, you know, Sharia law, Muslim. I don't understand. I just have a question, and this I'm going somewhere, so just entertain me here. So if this country was majority Muslim, what would happen to our laws? Anybody?
They would change a lot.
They would change.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is, what type of nationalism do we want then? That's my question. What type of nationalism? What do you think?
Well, what time do we want, or like?
Just like what when you, because when I say Christian nationalism,
yeah, like what's the other option?
Yeah,
yeah.
Because when I
you don't like that option, you want the other one.
Okay, because when I say Christian nationalist, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
When you say Christian nationalist, the first thing that pops into my mind is some type of like white, you know, supremacist or something like that.
Okay. When I say Christian nationalist, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
Mike's uncles.
Dang.
Nah, I'm joking.
Would you like me to remove all the knives out of your back, or just the one?
No, it wasn't Mike's. I didn't say Mike. Mike's good.
Mike's
it's his uncles.
Yeah.
Then you
Well,
gotta. It's them you gotta worry about.
Yeah. Mike's been transformed. No, but the people it would be like when I hear people say that, I automatically thinking they're thinking the white Christian man.
Okay, but why do we think that though?
I think people who are saying it. Have you ever met someone who considered himself, called themselves, identified themselves as a Christian nationalist?
Okay. No, I haven't. But let me.
So to me, I've always seen it used as like a something against you.
Yeah, exactly. So per the definition, the first part of the definition, where you want policy and you want societal, what would you label? Yeah,
I'd like that.
I that would make me a Christian nationalist, and I'm gonna tell you why. Just per that definition, I agree with everything that definition said. And I'm going to tell you why I agree with everything that definition said. Because in a Christian society, we are the ones. Because, you know, the first thing they always say was the Christians is the pastors who led the slave trade. You know, they always do that. But it was also the Christians that said you're out of bounds. You don't know the word of God. And if you love Jesus, you wouldn't do that. If you think about it, we're the only ones that really are tolerant. Did you see the man on the street who actually went to...
Did you see the Pride Parade in Iran? Yeah, I missed that one.
I mean, you didn't tune in? It
wasn't
viewed by 100 million people?
No.
Because it doesn't exist.
No, they're still waiting for that one to start.
Yeah, my point is, those are the things that if you look at that, we want that. We place the highest value on life. We really place the highest value on character. We literally say what she said. I have to forgive you because Christ forgave you. Who does that? Matter of fact, it goes against everything that we are as people. Secularism. No, we want eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. You need to feel our pain. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like the bait and switch, D. I just don't like it. According to what I read, I want as on earth as it is in heaven. I want that. And I agree. I think we let people hijack it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was. I never heard it as a term before. I think they took it and wanted to make it something like, you know, bad. But I was thinking as you were talking, you know, the movie The Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you need me on that wall.
Yeah.
Like you tell it.
That was a great movie though.
Yeah.
That was a great part.
Well, people don't know they need Christianity.
They need it.
The freedom that you live in to criticize it, you need it to actually do that. If you do anything else, you won't have that freedom. The freedom that you want to be gay, you need Christianity.
You need it.
You need it. You don't get it anywhere else. Yes, we disagree with it, but you need it to have that freedom.
But we still let you live your life.
To be in this country and be Muslim and live free, you need Christianity. Or you don't get it. For the woman to be protected, hey, you need Christianity. Like, you might stand against it, you might not like it, but you need it.
Yeah.
That's my point. And so I'm sitting there and I'm listening to all these talking points, and all I could think was, well, what do you want in its place? Secularism will get rid of you if you got too many medical conditions. It doesn't place the highest value on life. Secularism, depending on who's leading the secularism, will also take what you worked hard for and give it to somebody else who hasn't worked hard at all. Listen. I'm just saying, what would you want? Okay. I let us there for this moment in time right here. So there's a new trending term. Matter of fact, we're going to label the podcast this consequence culture. Y'all heard of the cancel culture, which Christianity doesn't cancel. Once again, it doesn't. You need us. However, we do, as Jesus told Peter, put your sword away. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, son. There's a better, once again, showing there's a better way. There's a new thing called consequence culture. And so we have Jimmy Kimmel, who, and by the way, I've researched, and everybody's saying he got fired. Some people are suspended indefinitely. One person said, is there a difference between suspended indefinitely and fired? I thought there was. Is there? Why are you laughing?
There probably isn't a difference.
There is. Oh, okay. I'm over here thinking there's a difference.
Oh, when do you come together like, hey, let's keep it clean, let's help a brother out.
No, you ask them.
So I get my next job. I didn't get fired.
No, you ask somebody in HR. There's definitely a big difference between suspended indefinitely and fired.
One look better on paperwork or what?
Well, one is you suing me, and one is you're not.
Okay, but but he is suspended indefinitely. Okay.
But he's not even funny, by the way.
Okay, but we're going to get that. Can I show you why he got suspended? Because most people don't even know why he got
I don't know why he got suspended.
Okay, this is why right here.
He had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
So that's what, so they're saying it wasn't the poke he made at Trump, which most people would say, well, that was funny because Trump set himself up for that, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my first time seeing it, so I laugh a little bit on that.
But it was the fourth stage of grief. That's a good line.
No, I don't like that. That was funny. I think just Trump. Trump blowing off the conversation.
All right, I thought it was just me. People kept saying it wasn't funny. I'm like, dude, he asked him a question. And he went back to look at what I did.
Look at the ballroom.
Like, what?
Like he's going to go dance in it.
What got him in hot water was the fact that he said that kid belonged to the MAGA. And they're like, that's not true. That's not right. Why are you poking at that? Why did you even poke at Charlie Kirk with the president? Blah, blah, blah. And so let me give you the thing. So now they're all saying we stand with Jimmy Kimmel, freedom of speech. They're trying to outlaw speech. And I found, you guys know I'm not a big Dave Portnoy fan. I think sometimes he has some good things to say. But he is a businessman. He owns a media organization. He had a very interesting take on this wasn't a cancel. Jimmy Kimmel's not canceled. Free speech isn't under attack. He can go start a podcast tomorrow and say whatever he wants to say. But you do have an employer and you are an employee. You need to watch your mouth. And so I just want you to hear Dave Portnoy. He makes a really good point on this. And so now they're calling it the consequence culture. Watch this.
All right, I got to chime in here. Everyone's talking about Jimmy Kimmel being suspended indefinitely from ABC, from his show, stemming from comments he made. One, I guess he was insinuating that the Charlie Kirk assassin was far-right MAGA, one of their own followers. And then two, he made a joke about Trump not really caring or being sympathetic that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Now, I think I have a unique take on this because I run a fairly large media company. I also do media. So you're seeing a lot of people right now, and I tweeted about it right away, being like, cancel culture. The right is so hypocritical. They're so anti-cancel culture, and now they want cancel culture. To me, this is not cancel culture at all. Like, what cancel culture is when you don't like somebody, say me, and then you're like, we want to get rid of Dave. So we're going to comb through everything Dave has said for the past 20 years, and we're going to find things we don't like that don't fit in this time period or whatever. Not just me, anybody. But that's cancel culture. Digging through old tweets, videos, things said to get rid of a person. Your goal going in, it's like, I'm going to get rid of this person I don't like, and I'm going to dig up everything that this person has done their entire life and find some smoking guns and put pressure on people to get rid of them. This, what happened to Kimmel, I would say, is consequences for your actions in real time, statements in real time. He made jokes that people didn't like. He tried to say that the assassin was part of the far-right magnet. He's not. And then Sinclair Communications was like, this is garbage. Our people that we, in our markets, they don't want to see this. We're preemptively pulling them off the air, kind of forced ABC's hand. Now, this is not a free speech issue to me. I've always said to our employees, listen, you guys can say whatever you want on your personals. You can do this, but your speech has consequences. If advertisers, if people start putting pressure on me because you're saying things that they don't like, this is a capitalist market. Like when the juice isn't worth the squeeze, decisions have to be made. And for Kimmel, his ratings are down. And by the way, I'm not like, I hated Colbert. I found him annoying to watch. Kimmel I don't watch, but, I take it or leave it. But his ratings are clearly down. He's making a ton of money. He's creating clearly headaches for ABC, and the affiliate then drops him. To me, this is like a business. He's not a journalist. This isn't freedom of the press. He's not reporting, digging. He's telling jokes. He's a comedian. He works for somebody else. Whenever you work for a company or work for somebody else.
Okay, so I wanted to stop right there because he says he's creating headaches for ABC and his affiliate. There is some truth to that. By the way, everything he said was true. The ratings are down. All this stuff is down. What you're hearing on the other side is the FCC stepped in. And the FCC can step in. Federal Communications. Okay. And they stepped in because they said, the commissioner said, hey, listen, you can't falsify on a public broadcast. You can't make false claims. We're going to have to look into this. You can't say this person belonged to that. And in other words, there's boundaries. We're on a cable network. You got more liberty. You got more liberty, right? So long story short, this company that owns them, Nexstar, I think that's what they're called. They're in pursuit to do a merger. And so what everybody's saying is, Nexstar knows they have to go through the FCC to get this merger done. It has to come across committee. And Jimmy Kimmel just opened up a can of worms. And now the threats are on like, hey, we won't approve this merger if you keep this guy employed. And so Trump's got his little hit list, and Kimmel was on his hit list, and now Kimmel's gone. I think Dave Portnoy, once again, does a great job explaining, listen, your actions have consequences. Your words have consequences. If you knew your employer was going to be doing this merger or whatever, then you have to think about these things. You have to think them through. Or else you can go start your own thing where you're free to say whatever you want to say and go get your own advertisers. But if the juice isn't worth the squeeze, then you got to cut ties. So anyway, I thought, man, this is interesting. And what I wanted to stick on, because I thought this was the part that was very, very telling, was there was a difference between cancel culture and consequence culture. And you've seen a whole bunch of people get in a lot of trouble because they immediately celebrated Charlie Kirk's death or whatever, whether they were principals of schools or teachers in schools or a wife of a guy who's a small business owner. Everybody was like, hey, you know what? If that's how you feel, we're not shopping where you're at. And so everybody was crying, it's cancel, it's cancel, it's cancel. And I thought his definition, no, that's your consequences. Because we didn't go through digging. You went on social media and acted a fool of yourself, and now you got to pay the price for that. What did you think of his definition? Just you personally, did you see the differentiate? Were you able to differentiate between cancel and consequence?
Yeah, I do like his definition, with the caveat that the more public you want to be, the more your past is going to come into play.
Go ahead. What do you mean?
Like they say, if you want to run for political office, realize they're going through your past.
Okay.
So know that. Now, if you're just a regular person, if someone come do that to you is jacked up, or even a football player, like your character doesn't matter how you play on the football field. But no, the more influence you want, realize that's going to happen. And so I think just realizing that you can't just escape your past.
So are you, okay, I agree with you, by the way. Do you think, even with your caveat, I agree with your caveat, do you think this should be a warning to people? Like, if you work for somebody, you need to conduct yourself in a way?
Yeah, definitely.
Why are people so shocked at that, though?
And for the young kids, too, you post stuff on social media. I mean, obviously you're young. Hopefully that, you can grow up and you can get past that. But no, that could come back on you. Just don't think you can completely escape everything.
Right.
So.
Right. What did you? Well, I did like. Not a bad definition. That was
I agree.
good. Yeah. What'd you think?
Yeah. I think it was a great definition. I mean, I'm sure there are times where those lines can get skewed a little bit.
Yeah.
But absolutely, there's consequences. You see it where people who have, they have sponsorships, and they get in trouble, or they say something that goes against the views of the sponsorship. And the sponsorship Target, or for some reason, let's just use Target for example, right? Like Target sponsors somebody to do something, and that person goes against their views. They're like, okay, we no longer will, have this person as a spokesperson for Target.
Right.
You see it all the time. And
Tiger Woods, the big one.
Oh, he did, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He was the highest endorsed person, wasn't he?
He may have been at the time.
At his
top, let's say top 3.
Oh,
that's fair.
Yeah, he had to have been top 3. He lost everybody.
I mean,
correct?
Nike didn't even have golf. They didn't even. I mean, they didn't. They didn't. He made.
They had Tiger Woods.
They had Tiger Woods. Yeah,
They literally created golf because of Tiger Woods.
Yeah. No.
You remember the golf ball that went slow?
Yeah.
And it had the
Nike
the swoosh on it. Yeah.
That's how much money it made.
And they got rid of him. You saw that with Kobe. Kobe lost Adidas.
Tag hair, all the watches. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I definitely agree with the consequence. We were talking real briefly, but you do see it with when somebody's going to get drafted or something, they'll try to bring up all their old posts and tweets. And so it should be a reminder for everybody. You got to be careful what you put out there.
Let me ask you guys something. How do you feel about that, though? Do you just feel like that's the way the world turns? Like
that's the game.
So the consequence culture is real. Like this is it is what it is.
I mean, when you post, what do you think about what you post?
He don't post.
There you go. You should probably just be careful. Like, just know that
I think because I don't do anything controversial. Well, at least I don't assume. I don't assume I do. I never.
Your stuff is very controversial.
I never really think about it. So I never. I never think about it. But then it's funny because I will get the backlash or whatever, and it's like the consequences of that. But I think you're hitting on something. I think people need to beware, and I would even go as far as to say, we are living in a time of consequence. We found that out.
We need more consequences.
Well, I'm saying, but we found that as a church. I think the churches are living with consequences of what they're choosing to align with or not align with, or what they say or what they don't say. My question, though, to you guys, is that fair? Once again, and I'm not playing it again because I'm just, once again, you had our favorite preacher, Mark Driscoll, shoots a video on his way to the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and he says again, he doubles down, if your pastor ain't talking about it again, why are you even in that church, blah, blah, blah. And my thing is, you're doing nothing to edify the body of Christ. You're not doing anything. You're not bringing us together. You're not bringing healing. You're not bringing restoration. You're not giving the pastor benefit of the doubt. You're not encouraging people, hey, why don't you pull your pastor aside and have a great conversation? Yeah. You're not. And what if that pastor was there to bury your mother? What if that pastor was there to help bring reconciliation with your marriage?
Just leave him.
Just leave him over one thing. That's it. You're in the wrong church, and I've got a list again. I need to make my list. But is that you see what I'm saying? I don't feel like I understand the consequence, but I feel like sometimes it's not fair. Am I wrong in that?
In terms of Mark Driscoll, what he's saying? Yeah, I mean, someone said he's close to Mark. He was close to him, so I don't know. Maybe he's hurt. I don't know. Go see a therapist. Go to your wife. Go cry a little bit. Something like stop holding it in. I don't know what is going on with him, but something wrong in his head because that's stupid. And he doesn't sound like a person that would do that. He knows his Bible really well. Seemed like to love the church. For him to say something like that, like he must be hurting.
Or what? Or he's a what?
What?
He's trying to
bait him.
Don't bait him. Come on, he's doing good.
Sorry. No, I'm not being a good friend. I'll say it.
No, I didn't think anything. I think he just, he needs to go home and go cry. Stop holding it in. Let it come out. Let the tears out.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. I just, to me though, that's not what Jesus would do. I just don't see the gospel in that.
And that's the part that gets me. Like sometimes people go so hard, like for one side, and you just get blinded.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. And that's, okay, I understand the consequence culture, and I'm on board. I get it. There's consequences. If you drink at a bar and you're drunk and you get in your car, you wonder why you got a DUI. It's a consequence. I'm with you. I just think we as believers, we have to balance this out a little bit better. And I think, Pastor Mark would have been a lot better suited and say, hey, I know a lot of you are struggling out there, wondering why your pastor's not talking about it. Well, this might be a great time to have a conversation and see where your pastor stands. There's just such a better way you can do that instead of doing a little snippet of, you need to leave your church this morning. That doesn't.
And where do they go?
Where do you go? So you're going to do what? You're going to go more to a church that's just another echo chamber of everything you believe?
But if you have such a hard stance on everything, you're going to go to a different church for how long?
Okay, let me ask you something.
6 months?
Let me ask you something. I came across, you know what? I'm okay. Can I have an open confession? I didn't like this dude at first. Am I even allowed to say that? Like,
who are we talking about?
I don't even know how to say his name.
Oh,
but
I guess it shouldn't matter. My answer shouldn't matter.
His name's.
Am I allowed to not like him? I don't know who is it.
I saw a couple things that he had posted and he had clipped before, and I was like, I don't really like this dude. I feel bad for even saying it. I love him as a brother in Christ. See, now I've even got to do with the eye roll.
You don't like his content.
Thank you. That was so much better. That was good.
Yes.
Can we erase everything I just said a minute ago and I just put that part?
Unless I don't like him as well.
Yeah, okay. You guys remember Josh Howardson? He had said a couple things. White dude. That didn't help, did it? I'll try to find a clip.
What's his last name?
He's the one that says he went out and he talked about pastors who don't make the headlines. And he said, hey, planes never make the news if they land safely. He's had a couple good things, but he had some stuff that I was like, bro, what are you doing? Anyway, he said something, and I follow him, and it really resonated. And I don't know if it was a slap in the face or if it was more concern, but I do find a lot of truth in what he's saying. He says, right or wrong, here's what I think was going to happen to churches in the next few years. The conservatism/progressivism divide will unfortunately get further and further apart. In the coming years, conservatism becomes more overtly Christian, quote unquote. Progressivism becomes, quote unquote, openly more secular. Cultural flashpoints will continue to arise like COVID, presidential elections, BLM riots, or Kirk assassinations. Churches that try really hard to be a church where committed progressives can worship without being uncomfortable will lose a large chunk of the solid conservative Christians every time there will be a flashpoint. I'm not calling for it. I'm just predicting that this will happen. Churches that are more openly clear about the cultural implications of Christianity that very obviously align significantly more with modern conservatism than progressivism will gain those people. For lack of better words, what I'm saying is the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer, because over time, you can't really build a church with people committed to modern progressivism. When I thought that, I immediately thought this, and I always try to balance things out, okay? My question to you is, if there was a young Barack Obama who was going on to college campuses and who was doing what Charlie Kirk did, which was trying to debate people, prove me wrong, the progressive way is the only way to go, all this stuff, and he was assassinated the way he was at a college campus, would there have been an expectation that everybody should be talking about it? Whether you like the guy or not, churches should get up and they should speak out against violence. Should they speak out against violence from the White House to God's house, is what I'm asking. Should there have been something, and would there have possibly been even more stuff that people felt? So the NFL, Major League, everybody should have had a moment of silence if it was a young black man who had that type of following and notoriety. Would this have been different?
Would there have been a cry for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Would there have been a cry for that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we would have had National Days of Mourning and all that.
And every major organization, from NFL to all of them, if they didn't take a moment of silence and honor or acknowledge, what do you think would have happened?
I don't think we're at that point now. I think a few years ago,
Okay.
it would have been bigger.
Okay.
I think people would have been like, why didn't you? But I think
Okay.
a few years ago, I think it would have been like, a big deal.
Okay.
Like really big. Like, when you didn't do the blackout, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I think back then, so I think a few years ago it would have been a lot bigger. I think that's calmed down some now.
Okay. So maybe not to that magnitude.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess where I'm going is I think Josh has got a point. And that's what concerns me. I actually think he's more right than he is wrong. And not only do I think he's more right than he's wrong, I think there's 90% of what he said is actually true. I don't want to admit that, by the way. I'm just saying.
I was just saying, there's some churches that we know who won't say anything about anything political. Some of the largest churches, did they say anything about it?
Those churches, I have no idea.
And I'm super interested right now. As you said that, I'm like, I wonder if they said anything about this because they never say anything.
I'm wondering who you're talking about. I'm like, man, man,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I'll say it, I don't even want to say
I know
it.
exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about. I don't know, but there's gonna be. I agree. I'm not asking for anything to happen, but sooner or later there's gonna come something you're gonna have to.
Yeah, because I look at someone like Joel Osteen, like he has one of the largest churches in America.
I don't know. Did he say something about him or did he not?
No, but I'm saying he did it. He's going to be on that progressive side. So
Yeah.
he's saying that, but I don't know how true it is.
Okay, no. Yeah, I hear you. No, yeah, you're right. I'm saying let me clarify. What I'm saying is I think he's going to be more right than he is wrong is what I'm saying. I don't like it. I don't even like to admit that.
So based off of what he's saying, what does that look like to you? Like, how does that play
Consequence culture. If
but what does the church look like? Because he's saying the church is going to change, right?
He's saying it's going to change because you're going to be forced to deal with these things. Okay, can I just throw out a flashpoint like he said?
So being quiet is no longer going to be an option.
Exactly what he's saying. Here's why. We're about to get to it again. I believe there is a ruling that the Supreme Court is going to rehear the gay marriage. That they're going to rehear it. They're going to rehear the case because it wasn't adjudicated properly. Okay, there's some flaws in what happened. Now, it's not the extreme that everybody thinks it's going to be, which is they're getting rid of gay marriage. What's going to be heard is it's going to go back to the states like abortion did. It's going to go back to the states. States get to independently rule, the people get to vote, which in a democracy, that's what you want. You want the people's vote, right? And then the federal government needs to step in unless the people's vote is harmful to people's. Okay. So that's going to be a contentious moment when this happens. I don't think anybody's going to be able to stay silent. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, so what's going to happen is sooner or later, you're going to be exposed for who you're, what can I say it this way for common vernacular here? What team you're really on is going to eventually be exposed. Mm. And what it's looking like is all the biblical principles. He's not saying it is, but it's looking like all the biblical values and principles are leaning one way right now, which has been conservatism. And what's going on the other team, progressivism, they're starting to get further and further away. They can't even define what a woman is. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And once again, I don't like that I even feel like he's right. But I think if something like the gay marriage thing was to come back again, they're going to get exposed. And that's where I'm saying I think he's right, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
You're still wondering what big churches do.
No, I mean, and the thing is, I'm totally fine with, in general, what he's saying I'm fine with. Actually, I like it because you're supposed to a real church. Mm-hmm. I don't always like the language of it. People always talk about language matters, but then people don't care about the language.
No, language matters. Yeah.
Because again, he leads off of a political point of view. It's not.
Right.
It's not the biblical church is going to rise. It's like no. This is what it's always still the political point, which automatically brings a divide.
Yeah.
And so if that's your goal and you don't care about that, that's fine. And
I don't know him, and that may he is in Texas.
Yeah.
And I don't know him.
But if that makes sense, that language,
absolutely.
Even if he's right, that language immediately, automatically, this side is going to say, "Oh, I hate what you said." There's not even an open mind towards it, and I feel like that's both ways. Yep. And so I agree with it in terms of what he's saying, but the language, I think, it matters to me.
So you're saying, if we could just reword this a little bit, you're saying there's going to come a kingdom moment, a kingdom moment where we're going to see. If kingdom values are really aligning, and you can't say in any political party, you can say it that way. Absolutely.
Yeah. People are, I hope he's right. People are eventually going to leave a church who doesn't have biblical values and go to a church that has biblical values. I hope we see that change in this
Orthodox
in the world.
biblical values, if we can. Yeah.
And I think that's what he's saying.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. No. By the way, I do agree with language. Language does absolutely matter, especially if you're trying to hear people out and you want them to hear you out. I agree.
And it's a lot more work. It's a lot harder. Like
it is hard.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I do think. Yeah, I know we're saying the same thing, but I do think it's just going to take another moment like that. And if they really do go back and hear that, this is going to be interesting. And the true church will arise. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, if our church gets smaller because we stick to biblical values, like I'm okay with that. Because like I want to honor God and love God in that way. Because I know, like, man, God, you're faithful. Like my own kids are here. I want them to be in a church that believes the Bible. Like,
but we've been there and done that already, though. Like
we do it again. Well, I think we're just in a point in time where the media wants to create so much hoopla and hype into certain situations that it's not going to be like, well, when's the next event like this going to happen? Is it going to be in 5 years, 10 years? It's going to be like probably every year. There's going to be some type of type of shaking. Where let me throw this in there and see if I can create some division. Shake the church up a little bit. Shake
it's
the church
working,
up.
right?
Yeah.
It's working. So why not? Why not attack from the last place? As a football coach, not that I know anything about winning right now for my team, but I'm saying if one play works, you keep running it until they stop you.
Yeah, because you had mentioned even yesterday, you were like, in the last 5 years, and you didn't mention one thing. You mentioned quite a few different things. And so on average, it's probably like once every year, every 2 years, there's going to be something, right? And that's why it's hopefully nothing to the extent of like the assassination of somebody, but it's some type of event or some type of thing that's going to cause people in the church to go, what side am I on?
Right.
Shake.
Right. No. So I never thought I would do this, and don't you guys poke fun at me. But you guys know who Forrest Frank is?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know who he was. You knew who he was too before I knew who he was?
No.
Okay, thank God.
I just found out.
Okay.
Like,
but your kids love him.
I don't know if
they know all his songs. I guarantee it.
They know one of them. He has the Lemonade one, right?
Yeah. They have the dance, the kids, all these kids. Man, I didn't know. Why are you laughing?
No, my wife's phone is connected to the car, and we switched cars, and her phone's still connected. And I look at it, and it says Lemonade, and I'm pretty sure there's a Beyonce
there
song
is.
Lemonade. And so I was like, why was it Beyonce? And so I asked it.
So, Pastor, you know the Beyonce Lemonade song, but you don't know Forrest Frank. All right.
So it's on my mind. And so I asked the kids, like, hey, is there a Christian song? She's just fine. I never told her this. I was like, is there a Christian song called Lemonade? They're like, oh, yeah. It's just what I was like, oh, okay.
No, what you think? You think, boy, my mama got in this car and she listened to Beyonce. I'm going to be in trouble, boy.
I never find out now. I never told her that.
Hey, I'm going to be in trouble. Okay. The reason I bring it up is I just love his heart right here. He's suffering some consequences, and he's going to tell you why. But I love his heart. But Forrest Frank, I don't know who you are. I don't really listen to your type of rap music. But man, in my book, for this little post,
he's better. He's better.
Rapper? He's a rapper?
No, he's not a rapper.
What does he do then?
He's like a pop. He's like a pop guy.
Is that what y'all call it? Okay, whatever.
I haven't heard the song.
I don't know what I call it. Well, I just considered it like some Christian rapper there or something. I don't know what that is.
Well, he's not Miles Minnick.
I'm gonna get flooded.
He's not Lecrae.
I'm gonna get flooded with comments from this right here because I'm dogging Forrest Frank right now. You guys are getting you're digging my grave over here.
I haven't heard his song.
Okay,
so
well, anyway, Lemonade.
I was surprised. I'm not surprised that he doesn't know him.
Okay,
but I'm very surprised that you know.
I don't know.
You're a music guy.
I know. But anyway, I like that. But just what? I gotta undig myself out of this whole.
You started with.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got mad respect. And then you watch worship leaders have a beefing contest. That was cute. Okay, anyway, watch this clip.
30,000 people unfollowed me because I posted about Charlie Kirk and I said that Jesus Christ is Lord. Good. I don't want you to follow me. I don't want you to track my music. I don't want you to come to my shows. I don't want you to do any of that if you don't do this one thing, and that is follow Jesus Christ, the King of all kings, the Lord of all lords, the one who is and the one who is to come. He's coming back real soon. So if you have not gotten your heart right with him and dropped down on your knees and repented to him, today is the day. The hour is at hand. I don't know if you can feel it too. There's a heaviness. Something shifted, and I don't care. I don't care anymore. I just want you to know that Jesus Christ is here and he loves you.
Mad respect. I love it. Wasn't bitter, wasn't salty. He said, you don't need to follow me. You need to follow Jesus Christ. I was like, you know what, dude? I don't really know any of your songs, but dude, you the man. That was good. It took it on the chin and kept going, saying it's all about the kingdom. I don't know. That's Forrest Frank. What'd you think?
That's great. I love it.
You had no idea who he was either.
Maybe one of you guys shared it with us. I did see that video.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for him. That's cool.
What'd you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a lot of followers, you can always say stuff like that.
Okay.
He's like, what's 30,000 to a boss? You know, like whatever.
It was 30,000.
I'm trying my best not to be too critical. It's like, man, if it was your kid, you'd be happy for them to take that stand. Like,
yeah, no,
to
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
No, I like Forrest Frank. I'm not a huge fan of his music. It's just not my style.
This is gonna get us in so much trouble, bro. Oh
You're not a fan of the white rapper? Come on.
Hey, you know there's only one GOAT.
He might be the best, period.
He might.
Hey,
they had one, and he took a whole game.
we just got to convert him. That's it.
He can run. Oh gosh. Okay, no, you know what? I wanted to end with him because I like his stance, and his stance was, I don't need you to follow me. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, don't make me bigger than what I am, because at the end of the day, it's about Jesus. Everything I do is to glorify Him, and that's who you need to be following. And I think, Bishop, this is my take. I just want to get you guys' closing thoughts on this. If we keep the gospel all about Jesus and His soon coming kingdom, right? I think we're going to be all right.
Yep.
And I just want to get your thought on that.
Yeah.
Then you, Mike.
For me personally, just the whole Charlie Kirk thing, just even since Jared Derman came, I try to look at it like get myself better.
Okay.
And so it was a lot of like comments and stuff like that I wanted to react to, and I was like, I just felt no reason for it. I was like, I just reflect on myself, like stuff I even said. I didn't want to admit this, but I'll admit it now. It's like, man, even stuff I said about Andrew Tate, I was like, man, that's not the right way to talk as a believer.
Okay.
And just like, I just want to get better.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that I'm loving, that I care for people in the right way.
Okay.
And not bring division, and people. And so that's why I even like the way he said it. It's just like, hey, no, I want people just to follow Christ. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's the big thing. And so it's like, how do I get better from this? Not arguing about, was he a racist? Was he not a racist? What, all these different type of things. Just like, man, how from this moment, what can I do different to actually care for people and follow God better? And so, yeah.
What about you?
There was a line that resonated, and you either said it or I heard it this way, but isn't Christ enough? And I think one of the things that I probably have struggled with the last few years, and I think probably some of it had to do with some like things that we went through, is certain churches and their beliefs being like a little bit different than ours, and me having like an inner conflict with that. And so I just really been convicted with that probably within the last like few weeks. And so there was that, and then what you said yesterday, isn't Christ enough? And just thinking about division in the church, and it's like, it should be enough. Like, it should be enough for me to at least see past some of our differences. It should be enough for me to sit down and love people. It should be enough to have a good laugh. It should be enough to shoot the breeze on certain things. Like, it should be enough. And it hasn't been for me. And so that's the thing that I think I need to just get over.
When both of those are great. Thank you so much. Both of those are great takeaways. This has been an interesting roller coaster ride of a week, 2 weeks for me. How do I navigate this as a pastor? I don't want to hurt my sheep. I want to do what God has called me to do. I just really want to be obedient. And I'm okay if speaking the truth costs me things. You guys know that. I think I've proven that time and time again. But I want to make sure I'm on the right side of truth. I feel like I was in a Joshua moment where Joshua sees the angel of the Lord, and Joshua quickly goes, "Hey, are you on my side?" He goes, "I'm on my own side." I felt that chin check from the Lord, like, "Hey, are you asking me? Are you seeking me on how to best lead my congregation? Because it's not mine, it's His." And I had to repent for that and say, "Lord, I really didn't do that, and I need to do that." And so I stopped and I did that and said, "Lord, give me the words, give me the wisdom." And this is why, because only Christ can heal. Only Christ can bring the healing and the restoration that people are seeking for. Only Jesus can cross the bridge of the great divide. Only He can be that bridge. And I really want to get back to talking with people, loving with people, caring for people, and saying, "Hey, I at least want to hear your heart. And I'm probably not going to agree with you, but I at least want you to know that you're heard. and I hear your heart, and I see where you're coming from. And I tell you right now, I was blown away once again by that memorial. There was moments in there where I was like, the Lord is here. I know the Lord, and the Lord is here, and he's moving on the hearts and lives of people. And so to me, I was touched. And that part by his wife just challenged me. Can I forgive the people who've done me wrong? Can I forgive the people who have slandered my name, or who are even considering leaving our church because of what I said? And I mean, I just was challenged. If this woman can get up in front of 100 million people and boldly proclaim the gospel in a way that it should be proclaimed, then dude, I need to step my game up. And so I was really challenged, and I agree with you, Bishop. We should be challenged to love deeper. We should be challenged to love greater. We should be challenged to be stretched more. We should be challenged to go the extra mile. Is that not what Jesus said to do? Yes, exactly what he said to do. So therefore, we need to do that. And above all else, I need to keep it kingdom. I need to keep it Jesus. And I'm okay if it costs me things in keeping it Jesus. I'm okay if it costs me things in keeping it kingdom. I'm quite okay with that, because that's the price I willingly chose to pay, because I knew what I was signing up for. But I want to check myself and make sure it is kingdom and make sure it is biblical. Because at the end of the day, biblical values cost you something, and don't get it twisted. Biblical values will cost you something. And 9 times out of 10, it costs you your own pride. It costs you your own flesh, because it's denying yourself that last comment. It's denying yourself that last, opinion, that last thought. It's really, the Bible says, holding your tongue when we want to say something in defense. And so, yeah, the Bible is going to cost you, but I want to make sure it's the Bible that I'm defending. Not some political ideology, but a biblical Christology. That's what I want to be defending. And that's why we do what we do. And I'm okay with that consequence culture coming after me for that. If I am raising the banner of the kingdom of God, I'm okay, come hell or high water, what comes at me. As long as I know I'm doing it unto the glory of the King in whom I serve, because Christ is my King. And that's who I want to honor, and that's who I want to adore, and that's who I live this life for. This has been another podcast. We out.